It's happening this weekend, and while Mo is cool about it, and while Katie is excited about it, just Romeo's anxiety has got them anxious about it.
Yep. So this has been a long time coming. We've had this planned for a while now. I think months ago when we first announced that we would be doing a live podcast for my podcast In The Moment this Saturday, Romeo immediately, had anxiety wash over him.
What?
Yeah, you did. Katie, I'm wrong?
No, you're right. The whole face, his demeanor, everything changed.
Everything. Like, I thought when I came to them and said, guess what? We're going to be doing a live podcast, that was going to be met with, like, all this excitement. Mm-hmm. And Katie matched that energy. Romeo, not so much.
Okay.
He looked at me like, why? Like, why would we do such a thing?
Because doing the show in front of like a whole bunch of people, that is a totally different energy right there. And you got to entertain in a whole bunch of different ways on your podcast. So it could be exciting if you didn't have, crippling social anxiety.
There you go. So, it's definitely a different experience. I've been watching a few live podcasts to kind of get a feel of what it's supposed to look like and what's supposed to happen. And for me, always doing stand-up, it's another day on stage. But for Romeo, I do get it because I do remember like that first time of really being on stage, center of attention, everybody staring at you, having these expectations. So, yeah, I got to check in with him this week, man, mentally to make sure he's okay because we're getting closer to Saturday.
I literally puked the first time I had to go on stage in front of a stadium worth of people. Now, this is way back in the day, but I was working at a country radio station. And I had to go on stage in front of an entire stadium of people for a George Strait concert.
That's a huge deal in the country world.
Yep. And I was
George
working
Strait concert?
Yep.
Those things are back.
Huge. And I was going on stage and I was introducing George Strait and puked right before I went on stage.
Wow.
So how you feeling about this thing, man?
Wow. No, I haven't. I've been trying to avoid thinking about it because I know how I can get. And like anytime I start thinking about it, I feel like my palms start sweating. I feel my stomach just turning and twisting and bumbling and all this other stuff.
But what is the fear? Like, I know you talk about your social anxiety a lot. So what is the fear emotionally on this day? That you're going to go up there, you're not going to be funny, people are going to laugh? What is it?
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything. Well, I think I think I'm judging myself. That's really it. Like, I'm judging myself and then thinking others are judging me the same way. Or they're thinking the exact same thing. And then, dude, there's so many times where I'm literally talking and like halfway through a conversation or like halfway through my sentence, I'm like, all right, I'm bored of myself. I just completely, I check out of my own story, man. So I'm a little nervous about that. I think it's just, it's weird because like in high school, I used to do a lot of performing stuff. I used to be on stage quite a lot, and like I would freak out and I would panic right before it. But I would always tell myself, and it's literally the same thing I'm telling myself now. This is what I want to do for a living. I can't be scared. That's literally all I tell myself. And so like anytime I did high school stuff and like perform in front of people, that was always my thing. It's just, this is what I want to do for my life. I can't be scared. Mm-hmm. And so there's always like a weird thing where it was just like once I got on stage, it was like a switch where it was just like, all right, cool. Like I'm on stage now. I can't freak out. And so I'm hoping that happens, but it's completely different because here it's just like I'm being myself on stage.
Mm-hmm. You're not playing a character.
Yeah, right. Kristen.
So you sound like I am my own worst critic. It sounds like you're your own worst critic as well.
I don't think that's true. I think I'm way more critical of you than you are.
That might be the case. You know what? There's one critic worse than me, and that is Bert. But for the most part. So you may be like in your head about your performance, but doesn't the fact that Mo believes in you and that Katie believes in you and they want you up there next to them give you a little bit of comfort?
Well, hold on a second. Let's question this.
Don't just speak for us.
Do
Really? You're going to do them like that? Really?
Let's go around the table here. Mo, do you have confidence in Romeo that night?
95% of the time, I have 100% confidence in Romeo.
Katie?
Absolutely, 100% confidence.
I wonder if is it possible, you guys, because when you went to Coachella, we kind of felt like the game plan going into that was like, look, you just going to the thing was the win. You staying the entire weekend was not the win. So if you show up there and it's too much for you, you could leave in an hour, you could leave in 2 hours in Coachella. Are you guys giving him that space? Like if it's too much, Romeo could just take off and people are going to understand.
No.
Okay. Okay, so that's not an option.
You got to ride it out. You signed up for this, right? You get through it.
All right, I guess
It's all or nothing. All right, where is this going to be, and when is it going to be, and when can people sign up to see Romeo puke publicly?
It is this Saturday, July 23rd at Legends Distillery. Walk-up tickets are still available.
I will be there.
Yes, sir.
I wasn't sure if I was going. Now I am. Yeah. You'll be great, dude. I know you will.
You'll be fine.
The Bert Show.
Like what you just watched? Well, you can get way more of The Bert Show on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your favorite podcast.